Hey everyone, so this tutorial introduces the 6-column worksheet, and as you'll see, it's called the 6-column worksheet because we see a trial balance, income statement, and balance sheet, debit, credit for each of those financial statements, but we're organizing them all in one tidy little section here. So the reason it's called a worksheet is because it's not a formal financial statement, it's more like an organizational tool that we'll use. So without further ado, let's walk you through how we do this. So I immediately notice I don't have any account numbers here, so I'm just going to follow what we do in this course, and that is assets in the hundreds, liabilities in the 200s, etc. So I'm just going to start with cash in the hundreds, receivables there, and so on. And then I'm into liabilities here, so you'll see what I do here is really quite simple, and you'll just do the same. Start at 100, go until your assets are done, start at 200 for your liabilities, etc. All right, so as I fill those out, what I'm doing is I'm linking these to my journal and to my ledger so that if I need a cross-reference, I know that I can look for cash account, which is account number 100, throughout my journals and ledgers to see if I have them balanced out somewhere. All right, so what you'll see is the trial balance is given to you, and it will always be given to you, otherwise we can't do this. And we've organized our trial balance into assets, liabilities, equity, revenues, and expenses. We know that these accounts here, and I'll just color code them just for ease of reference right now. These accounts are balance sheet accounts. These accounts belong on the income statement, so we'll choose a different color for them. And that's important because what we're going to do is we're going to calculate our net income, but we need to have our numbers from our income statement only to do that. So to do that, we're going to look left to right now. This now when we're working with a worksheet, it's all west, east, left to right transactions that we're going to do. So let's take all of our income statement accounts first, and we're going to transfer them over. So those income statement accounts are our sales, expenses for revenues, salaries, rent, miscellaneous, office, and telephone. So you'll see all I did was I copied and pasted over all of these accounts. And I'll do the same with my balance sheet accounts. So I've taken cash all the way through to my drawings, and I put them on my balance sheet. The number one mistake that students make when they are first doing 6-column worksheets is they believe that drawings is an income statement account. It is not. And what you'll see here is that the debits match up, the credits match up. All I've done is copied and pasted over. Now that I've done that, I want to do my balances. So I'm going to give you a formula. You can do what you want, but I'm going to show you a really easy formula. If you go equals sum, or you hit your sum button, and then hold the bracket down, highlight from the very top, even though there's nothing there, to your last account, close the bracket and hit enter. And the reason I've done that is now I can just click on this little circular thing at the bottom right, and that's going to give me this black cross that I can drag over, and it's going to do it for all of my accounts. So what it's done here is it's added all of these numbers up. What it's done here is it's added all of these numbers up, and so on. All right, another way to do it is you may see this function tab here, or you may have to hit, there's like 3 dots, and then it'll drop down, you'll see the function thing. So another way you can do it is you can click down that function tab, click sum, and then again, I highlight from the top to the bottom, and I hit enter, and then I take my cursor over to this little circle here. Once I have a black cross, I drag it over. The other thing you can do is you can also just, if you forget how to do that, is you can just do the formula equals sum, or click the sum function, and so on. All right, so that's the spreadsheety part of things. Now, when I look, my debits no longer equal my credits. And maybe at first I'm stressed, but really I'm totally good with it. Sorry, when I copied over, it didn't totally put my box in correct, so I want to make sure that box is good. Okay, so I know that my total credits of sales don't equal my total expenses. At first, I'm like, uh-oh, what happened? Because in the trial balance, I was balanced out. But of course, it's not going to balance out because we have a net income we need to look at. And we know it's a net income because I had revenue of $8,900. My total expenses were $74.20. So I know there's going to be a net income. So here's what I do. I'm going to write, in this case, in cell 22, A22, net income. And I'm going to go to my debit side. There's really no rhyme or reason except I want my debit and credits to balance out when I do a little check on my math. So I'm just going to put it on the credit side, and I'm going to do a formula that says equals my total revenue minus my total expenses. And so my net income is $1,550. Once again, I'll show you. So this is my expenses, or sorry, this is my revenue minus my expenses will give me that number. So the formula I use is equals, tells the spreadsheet I'm going to do a calculation. On your calculator would just be 8970 minus 7420. So I'm saying take the 8970 minus the 7420, and my net income is $1,550. Here's where things get a little bit tricky, but they make sense. So if we were in class, I would ask you, who gets that $1,550? And someone inevitably would say it belongs to the owner. So we know that when we do a statement of owner's equity, we are giving the owner the net income for the business. So let's do that as well. And we're going to put that here. So I'm just going to go equals, and I'm going to click on that 1550. Because the owner gets that money and capital increases with a credit. So what I've done is I've taken my net income and I put it in as a credit to my capital essentially in this rough work that I'm doing. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just double check my math. So I'm going to just add these two things together. So I'm going to add those two things together and I get 8970. I would do the same with the rest of my columns. So I'm just going to auto format that for me. So 8970 equals 8970. For 14695 equals 14695. So I have balanced out, and that is how you do a 6-column worksheet. So once again, I'm going to show you where some of the mistakes are that I typically find as well. To finish things off, we're going to do double underlines here because we know that, I'll just move myself out of the way here. We know that we need a double underline to show that we are done. And then I know I want to add dollar signs here because they are the last in the column. So we'll do that. I need to put an underline here. And then I think I'll just do here, here, and here. Those will be single underlines showing that I've done some math. So I will do a single underline. And then is there anywhere else I did some math? There sure is. I did some here. I did some here. So I'll do my single underlines there. So you'll see the last number in each column, there's a single underline. There's a single underline showing that I'm doing math here. Double underline means it's done. And then I just need to add some dollar signs. So there's dollar sign on the first here, not here or here. So I need to add a dollar sign. And then I've got dollar signs there. So that is your 6-column worksheet. You don't need to color code it. You actually shouldn't be color coding it. And this is what it looks like completed. So we take our balance sheet transactions, transfer them over to the balance sheet, take our income statement transactions, transfer them over to the two columns here for income statement. We calculate our net income, put it on the debit side of the income statement, give that net income to the owner. So we're going to show that by putting it on the credit side of the balance sheet, and then we calculate our final balances and we're done. Here are the trouble spots where people screw up the most. As I mentioned, this is the number one error that I see. People put that in the income statement. It's not an income statement account. It is a balance sheet account. So make sure your drawings is on the balance sheet. And then this is the other trouble area I see. So as you are watching it, you're probably saying, okay, this kind of makes sense. This kind of makes sense. Oh, you just lost me. And it's probably in this section here that I lost you in. Just watch the tutorial and watch the steps that we're taking. And as you practice it, you will get better at it. And that's it. So there you go. That's your 6-column worksheet. Let's take out these colors so it looks nice and tidy when you guys are looking at this tutorial. Right, good luck with your work, everyone. Reach out if you have any questions.